this brother, what up, y'all? Good morning. I'm on a rant right now. This brother right here has been on the jokes all week. And yes, we only been on like 2 days. Yesterday, he was not yesterday, day before, just jokes, just nonstop. And I'm trying to get serious, have a topic. Brother, you must have issues in this area. I'm like, brother, I'm just trying to have a comment. You really must be having issues in this area. Just like, see me getting on my nerve. He just like, you know what? I'm gonna just go and dig in till I just drive you crazy. So he gonna be in timeout. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Brothers of Legacy. I apologize. We haven't been on, just been taking care of some business. We got a trip coming up for the couples, and unfortunately, this brother gonna be there. Nah, love Kaneem. It's my man. Oh, but so just a quick announcement as before we get into it. And yes, that's not a typo. It says let's talk about the mindset of sports. So call your peoples, get them all in here. Let's go. We're gonna talk about it. What's up, Jeff? Good morning. Mama Corey, good morning. Have some stuff going on. Good morning, Lisa. Thank you guys for hanging out. I thought I lost you guys. You guys still rocking with me. Thank you. So we unfortunately, Mama Corey, speaking to you directly, we're gonna be off until like next week, Friday. Got some things I've got to take care of. Hey, Tori, good morning. Good morning. What's up, brother? Thank you for being here, my man. Richard in the building. Good morning, Richard. Is that all you
Morning,
see?
morning.
Is that all you see?
Hey.
That's it. That's all you see,
Hey,
Richard.
don't steal
That's
my
all you
moment,
see.
man. I've been missing. I've been absent, babe.
Okay. Are we getting separate? Okay. It's a time to split up. He said, "I'm here for the jokes."
I love it.
Thank you guys for being here. So today, yes, I put how do you overcome adversity? I changed my mind because we talk about a lot of guys. Sports dominates a good part of their conversation, um, and we don't get too deep into it because I try not to get into the weeds because of the characters, the people that play. That sometimes you just like I have no idea who that is. But sports is a big part of our culture. Period. American culture, black culture, white culture. Sports plays a pretty big role. Super Bowl happens, one of the biggest events watched at least in America, I know, and possibly around the world. So today I just want to kind of, as far as the mindset of sports, right? We talk about players, they get paid well, you know, um, but is it worth what players go through, right? Um, like sometimes the racial makeup and the things you have to endure. As I mentioned before we started, the combine. I'm saying that correct, right? The combine where pretty much future football players go to kind of get selected, and they watch for their agility. They ask them a bunch of questions. They they check their bodies. Um, so it's kind of selecting players. But do you feel like it's time for like an alternative to like the NFL, an alternative to the NBA? And is it possible? You know, or do we need to change things? Like do you work from the inside? So that's my top line question. And then we'll dig into it. Anybody?
Very nice, AD. You made that quick. Man. Well, man, I mean, the combine, specifically NFL, each sport has its own combine. A lot of folks don't know that. But each sport
Right.
has its own combine, but
Right.
the NFL combine is the one that's most popularized
Right.
because of the
Because
the,
of
the,
how.
the gladiator type efforts in the sport. So
Okay.
as far as the meat market for the combine, NFL
Right.
combine,
Right.
it is what it is.
Yeah.
If you're gonna pay a
Yeah.
player, I'm gonna keep it simple. $1
Right.
million dollars.
Right. Right.
If you're
Right.
gonna pay a player $1 million,
Right.
I need to know that you physically fit,
Right.
mentally fit, socially fit, because everything that you do is going to could affect the dollars that I generate from the dollars I invest in you.
Mm.
You, You feel what I'm saying?
Uh-huh.
So if you physically and mentally capable,
Right.
but you socially inept,
Mm.
I really can't use you because you may have picatures or you may have bad headlines or you know what I'm saying. So
Right.
it's kind of a combination deal. Now I'm just talking about NFL. I'm not talking about no other sports.
He said I'd do it for $150.
But yeah, I mean, but so it's kind of that aspect. So I can't be mad at the NFL and how they handle stuff
Right.
because of the money that they dishing out. I mean, you got
Right.
guys making $50 million a year.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, that's like they making $5 million a week.
Right.
You feel what I'm saying? Like, so if you making this, if you winning the lottery every week, I need to know
Right.
that the dollars that I'm giving you, one, you producing on the field,
Right.
and two, you're not causing detriment to my brand. You know what I'm saying? So,
Excuse me.
but
Okay.
anyway, I'll
That's
pass
good.
that on to them other fellas.
That's good. Very well said, buddy. Very well said. Thanks.
Just playing off of what Kaneem just said, we start thinking about the money. We all know that the most talented person does not get the job. And, there's a certain level that you have to be at. And so they're always looking at how am I going to pay this person this amount of money and justify it? Are we going to protect our investment? It's still a business. And so you got to look at the business side of it. Now, does the business, think about the person and the player and how they feel and everything else? Probably not. It's really like, what can I do to make my team better so I can make some more money?
Right.
What can I do to protect the brand? I mean, they're protecting the brand to the point where sometimes we look at the game and we're like, man, this game is soft now compared to the way it used to be.
Right.
But when you're starting to deal out this much money, it's crazy. Last night I was on social media, and 35 years ago, the highest paid player made $2.5 million in the NBA.
Wow.
This year, the highest paid player makes $52 million.
Wow.
So it's like, it's a big difference in the amount of money they're pushing out. But so there's this give and take. You're either going to protect the brand,
right,
and you're going to put the right people in place, make sure that you're putting, a good product out there,
right,
so you can continue to pay these $50 million salaries, or you go back to the old days and make your little $2.5 million. So it's totally up to, the players also understand this. They know that if they don't put a good product out there, that things, you can't make that amount of money. Steph Curry knows he can't have bulky ankles anymore. He has to get them ankles straight, and he's the one who makes the most money in the NBA right now. And so there was a point where no one thought he was actually going to make it in the NBA. So I know I switched sports here, but
no, you're good. You're good. We this is sport.
Mindset. It's one of those things where LeBron breaks this record, and everybody's going wild over this time where LeBron breaks the record, right? Sports is America's favorite pastime. It's not baseball. It's not the Cowboys. It's sports. Sports are the America's pastime. So listen, there's a lot of money to be made. So they're going to do what they can to protect this brand.
Nice. Yeah, it's the ultimate entertainment. It's the ultimate. Before movies, before music, before all that, sports was the ultimate entertainment.
What's interesting, though, is that it doesn't carry the same weight in terms of entertainment value with this next generation, the newest generation. Who is it? Gen Z?
Yeah. The crazy generation.
Gen Z is not.
Listen, we were crazy. We were X. That's why we were. That's a question. Go ahead. I mean, I get it. Go ahead, though. Go ahead.
I was saying that Gen Z, in terms of traditional sports, baseball, basketball, football, they're not as interested in traditional sports. They're more interested in esports,
True.
multiplayer online games, that kind of stuff. That's what is of more value to them. And so I don't know what traditional sports will look like in 20 years.
It's good.
You
When our
know,
kids are our age. Wow.
yeah, that's what's interesting because they're not breaking their neck to get to the Super Bowl. They're not breaking their neck to get, I mean, they want to meet the star players, but they're
Right.
not tracking, they don't watch the games until it's the playoffs,
Right.
right?
Well, some of the players don't play until it's the playoffs. Think about
Yeah.
what we were talking about Kawhi. We were talking about this right before we came on live. Like, how come he gets to sit and manage? What do they call it these days?
Yeah,
They get
load management.
load management, and he's load managing his time. So they're saying, well, as long as he's ready for the playoffs. Listen, you don't know what kind of conditioning this person's in for playoff mode. Playoffs are a whole other level. And so if
Right.
everybody's load managing, then yeah, you're going to have a bunch of people who get to the playoffs and they play a game.
Great example is
yeah.
a brother and sister flew all the way from some other country for a Miami Heat game because they wanted to see Jimmy Butler. The little boy was a Jimmy Butler fan.
Wow.
They get all the way here at 2,000 miles. I don't know what it was. And Jimmy Butler was under load management. So he didn't play in the game. And the little boy was heartbroken.
Wow.
So Jimmy Butler, they found out about it because I guess someone did an interview on the little boy and his sister, and Jimmy Butler found out about it and found the little boy and gave him an autographed jersey and the basketball and stuff like that, and spent time with the little boy and his sister.
Right.
But it sparked the question about load management. I love what Kobe Bryant said. Someone said, "How are you so consistent? How were you able to play so many games?" He said, "I had to keep my body right." He said, because somebody had a lifelong dream to watch me play in a game.
Right.
And they finally get to the stadium and I'm not playing.
Right.
How often, certain people that's a bucket list thing to see one game.
Right.
Jeff, load management is basically taking days off to preserve your body in hopes that you'll be healthy for the end of the season for the playoff push.
Okay.
So they now instituted load management, which started with Kawhi Leonard in San Antonio.
Gotcha.
That's who really made it a thing. It was Kawhi Leonard in the beginning.
It was before that. They were doing that for Ginobili and Duncan.
It's the Spurs. I'm saying it. I'm saying, but I'm saying it became a thing with Kawhi Leonard. Nobody started paying attention until Kawhi Leonard came up, and I'm saying Kawhi Leonard has spent more time under load management than anybody since load management became a topic. And you're right. There was times that Greg Popovich did not even allow. He didn't even make Tim Duncan fly to certain games if they were playing somebody like the Washington Bullets.
Okay. So you put the best players to rest up.
Yeah, he would let them stay home. They wouldn't even get on the flight.
Okay.
It's crazy.
That makes sense.
Yeah, but what it does is it causes the game to lose its luster when the superstars aren't playing.
Right.
If someone goes and do the research, find out how many games in the last 3 years or 4 years Kawhi Leonard has actually played regular season games.
Okay.
And people criticize Anthony Davis. Davis hurt his ankle. Well, that's 3 months. But it was always an injury in the game that happened to Anthony Davis. With Kawhi Leonard, he's on load management. He's managing something. He never even got in the game.
Wow.
He didn't even play.
So my boss called it lazy.
Right. And when you're making that amount of money,
right.
That's what I appreciated about Kobe Bryant. He said, they pay me too much to not be on the court. And people love the game and love me too much to not have me on the court. Right. So I got to be out there. It's entertainment. They came to see us play.
Longevity is a good thing for the sport because we got LeBron at year 20, 38 years old, killing it, right? We had Tom Brady, was he 47 years old? Right. Still in the NFL doing his thing or whatever. Longevity has its place, but we also are old enough to remember back in the days where people, you can break something, or fracture something, you can be bleeding, black eyes, all these other things. You get up and you play the game. And and they paved the way for what is today's sports. And so we get a chance to see a watered down version. The new sports fans, they don't get to see that. They see, player safety and all these other things, which is good. Lakers have a rookie, Austin Reeves. Austin Reeves caught an elbow the other day in the game and literally straight across the face. Last night he played in the game with a black eye. Yeah. And that's the kind of stuff that I'm like, man, that's my player right there. I like him. Right. And so but he's on a lower rung of players, but stuff like that is what's going to help him get paid.
Right. And that's the difference, Thomas. That's the difference. He is, it's funny. I heard Steve Kerr tell this story about a brawl in a game when he played for the Bulls back in the day with Michael Jordan and those guys, and the benches cleared for a brawl. Right. And Steve Kerr was like, that's $5,000. He said Jordan can get out there and battle and cough up $5,000. Right. He said, but I need that $5,000.
I can't afford it. Right.
Austin Reeves is going to ball with a black eye because he won't get as many options. He won't get as many chances.
Right.
So he has to do that because I'll tell you, Boston, what's that kid's name?
Brown.
Jaylen Brown got elbowed by his teammate, and he left the game, didn't come back.
Right, and he ain't been back.
Next thing you know, he was on Twitter showing he had a little swelling.
Wow. He hurt.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between being injured and being hurt.
Yeah,
you can play hurt, but you can't play injured. And the problem is, a lot of people today are sitting on the sidelines, hurt, not injured.
But I mean, we can switch this to the generation that we live in. Also, it's the people, and we talk about this often, where this generation's a little bit softer. You can't say certain things to them. Now, I'm not going to say what this guy said the other day, but he was talking about how this other player is a good-looking player, right? Mm-hmm. And then he followed it up by saying, I'm not basically of that lifestyle. I'm not going to say what he said, but I'm not of that lifestyle. He had to go and put an apology out there that, I'm sorry if I offended anybody.
Wow.
All he was saying is, listen, I'm looking at this man here.
Right.
It's a good-looking man.
Just don't get it twisted.
I know that I don't fit into that lifestyle.
Right. Don't come. Right? Don't get in my inbox.
I don't see any. For me, I guess I don't see anything wrong with that. The
grew up with that.
Of saying because that's something, the way we live in this society today, you probably have to do. You have to be able to say, look, that's not me. But, right. I'm secure enough in myself to say that's a good-looking man. Right. And and then have to go back on social media and apologize that I might have offended somebody. What's crazy is I was looking at something from is the 90s or something like that. It was an old show right after that, and I can't even think about it. They actually said the same exact thing on that show. The same exact terms that this guy used back in the 90s, and they're still doing replays of this show, and there's no problem with that. And I think that's the thing with our sports. We have a softer generation. I can sit out and I don't have to worry about my money. If I don't feel like playing today, I can do this. And sometimes we need mental health days. I'm not saying do not take mental health days. Do not, take a day off. Every now and then, everybody wants to take a day off. Every now and then, I decide I'm going to get up and I'm not going to do anything. But the reality is, when you're getting paid this amount of money and you're the product of this whatever sport, sometimes you got to show up hurt. Injury is different, but show up hurt a little bit.
True. So I got it. So I hear what you're saying. I think a lot of it, even with sports, things has happened in the past that has been ignored. So it's like hard judging. Should we pay attention to this, or should we just give it a blanket ability to just take the time out. You know, like even the children that we're raising, it's like, you know, you try to be sensitive to it, but I'm still trying to discipline you. You know, like
Right.
I need you to learn this, but I'm trying not to hurt you. You know, because there have been scars, and we don't have it perfect, and it gets annoying sometimes because it's like I survived the harshness. Right, Jeff. I know. I'm looking too. I survived some of the harshness, but you know, it's like now you can't say that. Like even, well, I don't want to get into that. But
Well-
it just some of the like this the language. Let's do it that way. The language sometimes just like, okay, what am I supposed to say? How am I supposed to describe this thing? You know, how am I supposed to approach this thing? And then if the language is new, right? Let's keep it 100. Some of the language is new. It may be 2 years old, like, and we just really know it. Like, so you can't get offended when I'm trying to change my language. Like, I get it, I understand. This wasn't offensive for such a long time. You
Right.
know?
It's here's my feeling. It's
ahead.
not going to matter. The biggest challenge we have
Yeah.
is
It's
you
not-
can't convince a 23-year-old
Right.
that at 45, this is going to look real silly.
Right.
You know, after 20 years, 25 years of living in this world, you're going to realize that this level of sensitivity
Yeah.
is really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
and that's the reality, because the issue is we didn't have as much information. Now there's information overload.
Right.
So everybody is God, small g. Everybody's a genius. Everybody's an expert.
Yes.
I'm like,
Yes.
wait, you're
Like,
you're
who sets the
23.
standard? Like,
yeah, like it doesn't matter how much information you have, you still got to walk this out.
Right.
And in 25 years,
Right.
you're going to be trying to convince another person who has more information than you had
Right.
that they don't have all the answers.
Right.
You know, I'm like, it's so I talk to people. I talk to people who've been married 4 years, giving marital advice.
Right.
You
I
can
mean,
encourage people. You can encourage people, but if somebody's coming to you for guidance on marriage, you're doing marital counseling, and you've been married 4 years, I'm sorry.
There's
You
a place.
can tell people about your experience.
Right.
That's what you have. The Bible says we overcome him, the devil, by the blood of the Lamb and by the words of our testimony.
Mhm.
Right? But if I'm 25 years in and you're 5 years in and you're trying to tell me how to get better and you ain't had no babies,
I get you.
y'all, you know, but y'all got it wrong. You're right. We got it wrong. We did. We got a lot of things wrong. You're absolutely right. I can't wait to hear when you get it wrong.
Right.
And I'm not looking for that. I'm just saying we have to be
Yeah.
so careful. And I'm like in sports and all that kind of stuff. It's so amazing to listen to the young athletes talk about the veterans. Right? You got young athletes trying to get veterans told.
Mhm.
Right? No, that was back then. Y'all don't know. The game is different today. Fundamentally, the game is the same.
Right.
You got to score 2 points. You got to score 3 points. You got to score the most points to win. Right? You get 5 fouls, and on 6, you're gone.
Right.
I mean, you you can't elbow somebody in the throat anymore.
Right.
Everybody on the planet knows that there will never be a real fist fight on the basketball court. So
Again.
Who's that kid out of Utah?
Uh-oh. They were fighting?
I forgot who it was, man.
He's on the Lakers now. Mo Bamba.
No, not Mo
Orlando.
Bamba. Somebody else.
Oh.
Somebody. But anyway, yes, young people discrediting old people, and
Right. See, there you go, Jeff. He said,
you have to get old.
He said, I did it. I mean, because I believe we've done some of the things that we see. You know what I'm saying? Like, now it's a little
how
more
many of us have to go
different,
back and say, you know what? You was right.
Right.
My bad.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't listen. If
Yeah.
only I had listened
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
25. And
So
I don't
now they
care
close
who
the
you
roster.
are.
Right.
Everybody on the planet says, if I had only listened.
Oh yeah, 100%.
You'll get, or you'll die before you get there. But
Right.
if you live, just
Just keep on
Jason
living.
Fletcher, good friend of mine, good friend
Yeah.
of ours, AD. Jason
Right.
Fletcher said his father told him one day because he was criticizing his father for something. And his father said, just keep living.
Right.
Just keep living.
Just
He
keep
told me
living.
1 week ago. Now I understand what he meant. Just keep living.
Right.
You know.
That's
So anyway, the shape of sports, the landscape of sports is definitely changing.
right.
I believe that the level of popularity for sports, honestly, is going to die with us
That's interesting.
unless something changes.
That's interesting. Do you guys
because-
believe that? You guys feel
I don't
that?
know, man. I don't know about I think the popularity is going to explode because they're involving technology in it.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like they really promoting it. The money is getting more. The platforms they're pushing it on, like they're getting away from public television and they're going to streaming services.
Right.
So
Right.
I think it's going to be more popular because you can actually take your sport and watch it anywhere. You ain't got. I gotta rush home to see if I can catch the game. You ain't got to rush
Right.
home. no more.
Right.
You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
You can pop the phone out, put some earplugs in, and
And watch it.
you can watch whatever game you want right there on
Right.
your phone
Right.
and whatever your favorite player. And for those young people that's still in high school and high school sports, those athletes I think is a pipeline to keep it going. Even though esports is something different, it's a
Right.
different lane. It's a different
It is.
avenue.
It is.
You know what I'm saying?
It
So
is.
those kids that just like to be in their room with
Right.
headphones on and a microphone and a
Right.
joystick, they got a lane for them where they're gonna become popular now that they get paid to play
Right.
those type of games.
Right.
But those athletes that still like to get outside and get oxygen and run and move around, I
Not
think
get
they'll
oxygen.
be more.
Go on, get you some oxygen.
Yeah, for real.
They're not. But
Hey,
see, that's the thing. They're not getting outside and doing that. They're running in the gym on a treadmill.
Right.
Well, I
Actually,
mean,
they
They
are.
got they have
You
an
know,
oxygen mask on, and everything is done inside. And when you talk about, when I talk about the popularity of sports, I'm
Jeff.
talking about the fellowship of sports. You said they'll be able to watch it on their phones with their headphones. Yeah, that's an individual watching a sport on his headphone.
but
And
that's a
what
fan though. I'm not talking about the actual athlete. That's a fan.
no,
Yeah.
right,
Fan is gonna be on their phone with headphones.
Watching
A
them.
fan.
right.
I'm talking about
And
the
I'm
actual
saying-
athletes. It's almost like a fraternity. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's a
yeah.
brotherhood.
Okay, I got you. Yeah, from the athlete's perspective, absolutely. Everybody wants
Right.
to be, Michael, Kobe, LeBron, Steph. So these athletes have not lost their thirst for sports. Always, you're always going to have those guys, and they're going to work hard to get out there. Everybody wants to make it because everybody wants that popularity, that fandom. They want that bag more than anything.
Mhm.
But what I'm talking about is the popularity of sports as it relates to fandom. That
Right.
is deteriorating. When you look at the arenas, they now give you the percentage of attendance, right,
Right.
in these
Okay.
arenas,
right.
and they're tipping at 91% when it used to be 100%.
Okay.
If you look at the number of games that were played this week, go look at the average size of attendance compared to the capacity of the arena, and you do good to hit 90%.
Right.
Yeah, but you gotta have a product on the court or on the field that will have a fan that want to go to the game. If your team is losing, I can watch you lose on TV.
Right.
But if your team is winning, it's gonna be a sold out every time because everybody want to get in there. I might get an opportunity to get an autograph. I might get an opportunity to get a ball. I might get an opportunity to get a wristband. I might get an opportunity to get a photo. You know what I'm saying? But
Right,
if
I
your
do.
team losing,
Right.
why would I go see a losing team?
Well, here's the thing: you can have a losing team over and over, Detroit Lions, and they'll stick around for a while. If they're the product of that team, that's why revenue share is so important because these good teams need other teams to play. And so
Yeah.
you have to have this revenue share. You have to have all these other things. The mindset behind sports is money. You know, the lowest
Yeah.
paid player in the NBA makes over $700,000 a year. So it's
Wow.
like, you know, that's
man.
nothing to sneeze at when
I
you
need a
think
livable
I'm over
wage.
here at the furthest part of the bench making $700K a year.
Right.
And I'll be on your
player.
bench, okay?
Poor
Yeah.
player. Right.
So-
Poor
On
player.
time they play is in practice.
But then
Right.
you got to also realize that this is different than it was back in the days. You go to a game, you're paying $8 for a hot dog. I went to a Pro Bowl and a bottle of water was $8.
Wow.
Bottle of water was $8. I was like, what?
We're gonna
So
share this.
you know, then
We
look at the
sharing
hat I have on. Look at the hat Brian has on. It
Right.
is there's this brand marketing. You know, they
Right.
get paid for this. You know,
Right.
there's
Half is
all
like
kinds of ways of
$3.
getting paid in revenue as long as you have the marketing right, and then you get these TV deals. You know, you get
Right.
these 30 million, or $10 billion TV
Right.
deals that they're going to pay you year after year, no matter how you perform. You know,
Right.
but people know that you're going to have sports fans that are going to watch, and
Right.
we'll complain about it, but we're still sitting there every week watching it.
Right.
You know,
All the
Yeah,
time.
but see, what you're talking about is generational.
Yeah.
You know, that's just a fact. And what I'm saying is Gen Z, their mindset is so short term that traditional sports have become boring.
Well,
Mm.
not all Gen Z. And then, you know, here's the thing. They know how to market forward. Like I'm not even marketing to you right now. Like cigarette companies,
Right.
they don't market to old people. Why?
Right.
Because we ain't going to start smoking at this age, right?
Right. Right.
They're going to
right.
market to the kids that are coming along, and they're going to find a way that they can get them involved, you know. And if you're not going to get involved, then let's go to the other side of the world.
Right.
And start making this a global and a national. Let's start having games in Mexico and London and all these other places where we can tap into another market.
Right.
So we don't need all the same fans from the United States.
True.
We can find fans from around the world. We can
Right.
market global brands like Yao Ming and hit a whole country like China.
Right.
You know, we can make LeBron a superstar. And, you know, a couple years ago, LeBron almost messed the brand up because of making some comments, you know, about China and
right.
different other
Right.
things. And so people,
Yeah.
you know, and I get what you're saying. It's different. This next generation that's coming up is different. But when you have people who need to protect a brand and you need to protect your products, you may not be putting the best product out there, Apple, but you still got people following.
Oh, let not. Oh, that's dirty.
Whoa.
Oh, that's dirty. Oh, that's dirty.
Whoa.
That is dirty. Yeah, I mean that's just uncalled for.
Speak the truth and get muted.
I tell you, yeah.
It's right. Shutting you down. He said,
Well, I mean, yeah, that is true
I think
though.
it's
I
illegal
mean,
now, though.
Generation Z is definitely different.
no cigarette commercials.
I mean, I will say that, but you got to also understand that the generation before them are those that are marketing to the generation below them. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a trickle down. I know what the young people like because I was young 5-10 years ago. It ain't like us in our 40s and 50s
right.
trying to market to 17 to 25.
Right.
You actually got somebody that's 25 trying to market to somebody 17. You know what I'm saying? Like they closer in age, or like they can get it. You feel what I'm saying? So I mean, it's gonna be different because I know our parents. Well, I know my parents looked at me like I was crazy when I was walking around every day spitting rap lyrics, and they couldn't understand what I was saying. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different time. Now that I look at my kids and I see them, and it's silent in the house, but everybody got on headphones or got a screen in their face and this, that, and the third. Like I'm looking at them crazy. How my parents looked at me crazy.
Right.
You know what
I
I'm
mean, it's
saying?
just the next cycle. It's the next cycle. You know, they were scared of us, Gen Xers, with the music we listened to. The thing, our stuff was way different than what they ever listened to. You know.
Here's a question: why are kids not playing sports anymore? The average child today spends less than 3 years playing a sport, quitting by age 11, most often because the sport just isn't fun anymore. Parents are under pressure too, with some sports costing thousands of dollars a year. Travel expenses taking up the largest chunk. Gen Z's overall interest in sports remains significantly below that of older generations. Their appetites for attending live games and watching them on TV are accordingly lower, per new Morning Consult research. Gen Z Gen Z keeps sports executives up at night.
Yeah,
Well, here's the
we
thing.
weren't trying to dispute
Okay.
what you were saying, brother.
Oh yeah, I agree with you, but there is still a marketing machine out there that's going to get them in. And
It's
here's
gonna
what
get
it
them
looks
in.
like. Let me tell you what this Gen Z sports looks like. It looks like I'm going to keep it softer so your kid that comes up, you don't have to worry about them having all these injuries and all these other things. I'm going to make it to where everybody gets a trophy when you go out and play. I'm going to make it to
Participation.
where now we can help their mental health and we're not going to
Right,
allow them
right.
to feel
Too much
any kind
pressure.
of pressure or pain
Right.
of losing a defeat. And we're going to just make it easier and softer for them to get through. Listen, I coach
True.
a flag football team right now with my two sons, right?
Right.
And we're out there and we're playing. And when the field we practice on, they have this big old football team. It's a tackle football team, and they do these, and there's hundreds of kids out there right now learning how to play tackle football.
Okay.
But you watch some of them and you listen to the way they talk and some of the drills that they do, and it's like, wow, that's different. But they got to learn what it feels like with pads. They got these, new helmets that they put on top of your helmet.
Right.
They have these
Yeah,
sponges
wow.
or whatever. It's a different world, and I think a lot of times, we'll always remember the way it was, but we also have to understand the way it is. Like I said, the marketing machine is out there. The blueprint is Apple, and they'll get a lot of people out there. I'm just messing. But
right now, Mikal Bridges is the Iron Man of the NBA
for the Charlotte Hornets.
No, he plays for Brooklyn.
He just got traded to the Nets.
Yeah.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. And balling out. I think he scored like 45, 46 points just last night.
Okay.
So that was a good move for him. He has not missed a game since his junior year in high school.
Wow.
He's been playing in the league 5 years and has not missed a basketball game since his junior year in high school. 449 consecutive games are currently the longest NBA streak. This run spans his entire 5 years in the NBA and 4 years in college. He redshirted his first year. AC Green has 1,192.
Yeah.
Wow.
Consecutive games played. That's the current NBA record. AC Green, who played for who? The Lakers.
The Lakers. And he got traded eventually and went to other teams, but the Lakers for the most part.
But they can't touch Cal Ripken. That's not even half of what Cal Ripken did in baseball. Cal Ripken had almost 3,000 consecutive games played. He is the GOAT.
Yeah,
of
coming to work.
Yeah, and so a lot of the reasons why the game loses its popularity is because there's not enough great players playing consistently. LeBron James' budget for his body was somewhere like $10 million a year.
Wow.
Something like that, just to keep his body in order.
$2 million,
yeah, something like, I don't know, what, some crazy number. If it was 1 million, it's still crazy.
Right.
But that's where the game loses its popularity because you don't have enough consistency with people getting out there and playing, being on the field. Now, football, the NFL has not declined in popularity.
You said football?
That is the number one sport, period. NFL.
Well, how does baseball pay their players as much as they do, and their stadiums are empty, right? It's because they have a good, way of generating revenue outside of baseball, and that's one of the things. When you have a sport, you have to keep your players up to a certain level because you actually have to have the sport to generate the other money from other places,
right?
And it's important to see that. We'll never see players worry about streaks. They'll always worry about health and mental health and different things, as they should. But when it comes to this mindset of sports, it's hard for us to get with it. Okay, so I just mentioned that I coach a football team,
right?
And they're not having a championship. This is flag football. We're playing rec. We're having fun, right? We're out there learning different skills and everything else.
Just having fun.
And we were supposed to order trophies a month ago.
Yeah.
Right. I didn't order trophies. I didn't even think about ordering trophies. It didn't even cross my mind to order trophies because we don't even have a championship.
Right.
Why would I get you trophies? And
Right.
then so I get a text message the other day. It's like,
Uh-oh.
did you think about trophies and all this other stuff? And I'm like, so I sit there and I go, you know what? I got to check on them. Other people want them. Let me check on them. You know, it's not it doesn't matter what I want. It matters what the people want.
Right.
But the deadline had came and gone, and I didn't realize the deadline had come and gone to order your trophies. And I'm like, well, it's last week, so sorry I missed it. Yeah. But the reality is that doesn't even cross my mind to get a participation trophy.
Right.
But there are many people out there who believe this is the way. We need to show that we were actually here, and we actually played this season of flag football. Well, I'll be honest with you. I took a lot of pictures.
We got some highlights. He said slim and none. He said, oh no, we got 2 chances of winning. Slim and none. Yeah, I mean, I think we just need to, you got to learn how to lose, man. You just got to learn how to lose. You got to learn how to play. You got to learn how to just take, I think sometimes I'm not like the hugest Spades fan, but I think Spades can teach you how to take some junk talking, how to talk junk, how to take
only
it.
If you're playing Sean Rollins.
Oh, yeah. And
it'll teach you if you're playing Sean Rollins.
Right. You're going to learn today.
And how to talk trash.
Right.
But Sean Rollins has to be at the table. if you really want the lessons.
Right.
I'm not talking about lessons in winning. I'm talking about lessons in talking trash.
Right.
Getting your feelings hurt,
But yeah, I mean, you got to, I don't know. Like, you got to learn to lose, man. You got to learn to lose. You got to know how to take a lump and keep moving. I think that's I mean, that's the part I think that I definitely don't agree. Like the participation. I mean, for you, Tom was telling me, hey, good job. You guys came through. You came here. You did your best. We just ain't get to the championship. Like,
there is no championship.
There is no championship. I mean,
there is no championship because we'd be in it.
Oh, you're right. My bad.
One of the running backs for the Philadelphia Eagles stayed on the field. There's the camera shot of him on the field, on the sidelines, watching the Kansas City Chiefs celebrate. He's just standing there, looked like a lost puppy.
Wow.
But he said he needed to he had to absorb the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I need to feel this loss so that we get here next year, I'll understand what this feeling is. And I would do everything I can not to be on this sideline.
I know that's right.
Yeah. And you gotta you gotta lose to win, man.
Yeah.
Failure is an option, but the failure shouldn't stop you. The failure should grow you. I love, who was it? Denzel was quoting somebody one day. He did a speech and he said, I found 167 ways how not to do it. Right? I learned 167 ways how not to do it when I actually got it done. People say, "Oh, you failed." You said, "No, I'm just finding out how not to do it." And what he says is, you have to fail up. We have to learn to fail up, and that's why I agree with you, Thomas. I think that this whole concept of, and Kaneem, you said it too, this whole participation trophy, you can get a certificate.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Well, so my kids have gotten participation trophies, medals, and everything. I guarantee you they can't find one of them right now.
Right.
Like Jeff said, kids know when they're getting a Mercy trophy.
They do.
They do. And it's crazy.
I just think let's go get
I saw a stain that was over 2,000 years old.
Right. And
it was from ancient Greece. Oh, I'm sorry, I started dad jokes too early. My bad. Anyway,
that was good.
That was good. My mouth was open. That was good. That was good. That was good.
Anyways.
Oh man. All right. So we appreciate you guys for being here. Again, he said, right, Jeff. He said, I did too. I was like, Wait, did he just drop a joke on this? I missed it. I wasn't ready. That Thomas got some ninja game.
But Jeff makes a point real quick before we go
Yeah.
off. Where do we learn the biggest lessons when we
Right.
make
This is good. The biggest mistakes.
right?
Yeah.
The mindset of sports. Sports used to teach a lot of lessons. There's a lot of discipline in it. You put your kids in there because, hey, you're going to learn some discipline.
Right.
You're going to learn some different other things. You'll stay athletic, keeps you
Right.
healthy. There's a lot of good benefit. There's
Right.
still a lot of good benefits, but you know, in society, we used to say that, you know, you're going to learn your lessons from your family, from your household.
Right.
And a lot of, we see that households are broken these days. And so
Right.
you can be the most athletic, you can be the most talented, but if you're not learning the lessons, if there aren't ways that we're helping people to be empowered and to learn these lessons by the platforms that we used to have, then we're just kind of weakening our society. And I think a lot of
Yes.
what Brian is talking about, it has to do with weakening our society and the way we're
Definitely,
looking
Mama
at this
Carlo.
Gen Z, and like
Right.
they think they got it right, but
Right.
in actuality, we're weaker today because of it. Just like our
Right.
generation, some of the things we did, we're weaker today because of it. You know, I
Right.
even remember used to hear people talk all the time about when I have my kids, I'm gonna be my kid's friend. I'm not gonna do the things that my parents did. And like being a friend to your kid doesn't work. You're a parent first, and because there's this idea of the way you have to parent, there's so many different ways that we have to start to look at where we're weakening our infrastructure, our society, our people, our families, and everything else, and be careful not to go so far to one end and ridicule people who've been there, done that. Let's learn from what the people have done, been there, done that, so that we can continue to strengthen our families and strengthen our kids and help them to deal
fellas,
with
I
some
gotta
of
get
the
up out of here.
adversity.
All right, brother. Appreciate you, man.
All right, can he deal with some of that adversity and not have to just, you know, we have to coddle you through the adversity.
Right.
So yeah.
I have countless conversations with young fellas in their 20s who are so close-minded. You know, I had a guy tell me, man, I'm tired of hearing people tell me I'm too controlling. You're 23. If multiple people have told you that you're too controlling, you need to look at that,
Right. Right.
right? Like, how much do you really think you know?
Right. Right. True.
Seriously. I mean, I don't like it's what's amazing to me is we have all this information, and I'm going back to what I said earlier. These are some really, really dangerous times when 20-year-olds won't listen to reason. That won't be me. Oh, yeah, it will.
Right.
If you don't open up and start listening and recognize that people can pour into you. Where are you getting it? Well, I was having a conversation with my friend that I've known since the third grade. The friend that you've known since the third grade. So you having an insightful conversation with someone who's the same age as you.
Right.
It's the way you think.
Yeah.
Yeah, who agrees with the way you think.
Mhm.
Where's your contrast?
Right. Right. Right.
Man, this is a really, really big world out here.
Yeah.
You know, and there are a lot of experiences waiting on you.
Right.
And everybody has trauma. I haven't met a person that doesn't have trauma.
Right.
People think that somehow young people think somehow they're exempt from the experiences of the generations before them. I'm not going to do it like you did it, so I'm not listening to you. Well, if you're not going to listen to me, you're going to do exactly what I did.
Right. Right. You're gonna do exactly what I did. Right.
And I mean, what I've learned to do. This is what I've learned to do. I've learned to let someone talk, because this is my philosophy in life. A lot of us can hear ourselves talking,
Right.
but we just don't know how we sound.
Right.
So I'll let you talk, and then I'm going to give back to you what you just gave me.
Right.
And if you get mad at me, who are you really mad at?
Right.
Because if I had not given you an opinion or a position, if all I've given you is what you said to me, and you're mad at me for saying it to you,
Right.
I have to keep reminding people I'm only giving you what you just gave me.
Right. That's good.
That mindset is crippling our community. Not wanting to be told anything. You do have a control problem. If no one can pour into you, you have a control problem.
Right.
Period. You don't like something that contradicts your thinking.
Right. True indeed.
But I think that that's something that this generation, they want to be in control. And, they feel like they have power, and they do, but they don't understand how to yield or wield that power on their life. And so I agree with what you're saying. It's so, yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Jeff
tough.
says, as a parent, I always wanted to protect my kids from the hardships, but I realized that wasn't necessarily the best for them.
Not at all.
Right, because they're gonna mess up anyway.
Right.
They're going. The best thing that you can do is make them informed.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That way, it won't be an ignorant decision. It'll be a dumb decision. You knew better and you did it anyway.
Right.
And the Bible says most people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Well, it won't be because you were ignorant.
Right.
You were just a dummy. And I'm saying I can accept that. What
I can accept it too, but you call a kid this generation a dummy, they're going to break down, right? And then,
yeah. Because mentally they can't handle. And I get it. Listen, man, my mom is on here. My mom is one of the greatest preschool educators on the planet.
Right.
But she stayed in trouble.
Wow.
She stayed because boys were knuckleheads and girls were hussies.
Not the hussies.
Hey, listen, parents would get so frustrated, and my mom would be like, well, is your 3-year-old reading?
Right.
Yes, she is. Then I earned the right to call her a hussy.
Right.
That's how she felt. And it was brutal. I would watch my mom interact with parents. And I'm like,
oh,
and there was not a better teacher in the school. The children loved her. The parents, young parents, could not handle her.
Right.
The children had no problem. And they were coming home reading, 2-year-olds reading on a 3rd grade level, 4th grade level.
Wow.
It was amazing. But she had to watch her tone with young parents.
So Rollins, I think I looked at the comment 3-4 times. He said, I remember my son graduated high school and he said hardships.
Yeah. Like, man, you don't know hardships, bro.
Right.
No hardships, man.
He said my kids grew exponentially when I got divorced and can no longer provide the same lifestyle that they were used to. Best thing that ever happened to them. Interesting.
Yeah, I believe me. I got daughters that are absolutely. I'm like, man, you're gonna be somebody's nightmare. You know what she said?
What's that?
Your fault.
You did this, Daddy. You did this. Tell you what I learned today. When you hear the term "be there" or "be square," you know why you're a square? Because you're not around. Hold on. Wow. When if you're ever going on an audition, they say break a leg. You know why? So that you can be in the cast. Hold on, I got one more. They call it a pilot show because it's the first time on the air.
I love that. I love it. Oh, listen. Okay, I got a good construction joke for you guys.
Okay.
You want to hear it?
Yes.
Wait. No, I'm still working on it.
Boom. Boom.
Listen, I got a call and someone sneezed and hung up. I'm getting sick and tired of these cold calls.
Co-worker of mine told me he bought a brand new boat. He said, man, this boat is sick. I'm like, when you gonna take it to the doctor?
You could say that. Lisa said, "This is what I signed up for." You never heard the term "hold your horses"? It means to be stable.
Wow. Wow. That reminds me of the pig I met who knew karate.
Mm.
His nickname was Pork
Pork
Chop.
chop. I know.
Ah! Oh man, I saw a man standing on one leg at an ATM and then walked up to him. I was like, "What's going on?" He said, "Nothing, just checking my balance."
Okay, that was good. That was good.
That was good. That was good. What did one toilet roll say to the other toilet roll?
What's that?
People keep ripping me off.
Mm-mm.
Why did the
Oh,
can
man.
crusher quit his job?
Why?
The can crusher quit his job because it was so depressing.
Mm. Okay. He's a man who knows.
All right, I'll have to
Oh.
do better. My pencil broken. Why should you not write with a broken pencil?
Why is that?
Because it's pointless.
So I was at the airport getting my luggage, and a woman passed out on the carousel. She's
Okay.
slowly coming around now.
Oh, did you hear the story about the magic sandwich? Never mind. It was a bunch of baloney.
You got me that one. I didn't see that one. I
Oh
didn't see that one.
man.
What type of book has only characters and no story?
What's that?
Telephone book. I'm aging myself.
Man, what's a telephone book?
Right.
Right.
Yellow
What do you
Pages?
call a
What
French
is that?
guy being mauled by a lion?
Wait, say that again.
What do you call a French guy being mauled by a lion?
What's that?
Claude.
Why don't they play poker in the jungle?
Wow.
Too many cheetahs.
Should have seen that one. Didn't see that one. All right, we're gonna get ready to get out there. I appreciate you guys for being here. Like again, I said, we have a little bit of a hiatus between the trip and some other stuff I need to take care of. We'll be back. I'm gonna just say Friday. I don't even want to say Thursday. We'll definitely be back next Friday, and then we'll resume our regularly scheduled programming going forward. What does that say?
Number 2 pencil.
Dixon
The most popular
Ticonderoga.
pencil. The most popular pencil in the world is the number 2 pencil.
Right.
They're so popular. Why are they still number 2? Addington.
988. If someone you or someone you love is having a mental health crisis, 988. Or check out some of our dad jokes. We'll raise you. We'll help you feel better. And we look forward to seeing you guys next week. All right. Any closing remarks before I get out of here? Because I feel like you do. I feel like you're brimming. Come on, Thomas. Hit me with one.
I accidentally drank a bottle of invisible ink. I'm at the doctor now waiting to be seen.
All right. See you guys next week. Peace out.